Hey, what's up? I've been posting some videos occasionally of me doing snatches, power cleans, those kind of things, and I've had a few people say, you know, I would like to try to do a snatch, but I don't think I could do one, or it's scary the idea of having a bar over your head. Obviously, if you're in a commercial gym, it's a very risky idea trying to snatch, but you know, sometimes you find these old school gyms, and now some of the newer gyms now are putting in platforms and things like that so people can do the Olympic lifts. Just got to make sure no one's walking on them, because I used to work at a gym that had a bunch of platforms, but you'd occasionally have kids come by on their headphones and stuff while you're lifting, and that's not good. So you definitely got to let everybody know that you're doing the Olympic lifts. But hey, you know what? I was never a great Olympic lifter. I probably did about 6 or 7 meets, but I was doing a powerlifting routine for years. Met a guy named Gary Valentine. He's up in Connecticut. He has a big club up there. But about 12 years ago, it was a much smaller club. He just had a couple masters lifters. He invited me to come train with him. And he taught me the basics of doing a snatch, and he had a sequence of barbell moves that he would do with new lifters to help them learn to snatch. And I'm going to go over those moves with you, and maybe this will help you out if you want to try doing a snatch. Just like for you out on Derez, I know you mentioned something about that. So let me get my barbell here. Now the first thing here is finding your grip. I've got mine like right outside the rings of an Olympic bar. It's right at your hip bones. You want the bar right at your hip bones. You don't want the bar up higher. You don't want the bar up lower. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my shoulders warmed up. So I'm taking a snatch grip, and I'm just going to do a snatch grip press just to kind of warm that up. I'm going to do about 8 reps of that. And that feels weird. My shoulders don't feel too good, but that's why I'm doing it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those weren't too pretty. Now while I have the bar here, I might as well just do some back squats with the bar. I mean, you know, if you squat, obviously you do warm up with the bar, so this isn't that simple. I'll probably edit this video, but just want to do about 8 reps of a barbell squat going down, sitting in the bottom position. And definitely, if you want an Olympic lift, you have to learn the deep squat. The more you can deep squat, the lower you can get under the bar. The more you can squat, the more you'll be able to lift. When you see someone clean and jerking 500 pounds, there's no way they can do it without having to be able to front squat it. So, when you're watching the Olympics, you see the heavyweights doing over 500 pounds. Part of their routine is front squatting 500 pounds after they do the lifts. So now I got my grip again. Here's another lift we probably all know. Romanian deadlift. I've got my knees slightly bent, pivoting on the hips, just trying to keep that nice back arch. And I'm just working on kind of keeping the bar close, pulling in, trying not to round out. And I use a hook grip. If you're really serious about Olympic lifting, you gotta learn to use the hook grip. So the next one, you've probably seen before. If you checked out enough YouTube fitness videos, it's the overhead squat. And this will either persuade you or deter you real quickly from going further into Olympic lifting, because you have to be able to over squat to Olympic lift. So basically you want to get the bar overhead. And this is a little bit harder with empty weight. Having weight over pushes you down a little bit. So I'm just sitting down, getting a few reps of that. Next thing you want to get used to doing is just kind of applying metric here with the bar. Now you can even do this with some weight. And sometimes it helps to have straps. or chalk, which I don't have right now. But I'm just kind of jumping and shrugging. Arms are like ropes. See how high that bar is going? It's almost hard for me right now to not turn around and snatch that. Now we just did the jump and shrug with the snatch grip. We've done the overhead squats. Now what I'm doing here is called a drop snatch. I have my feet a little closer than I would squat. This is where you want to start to pull with your feet closer. I've got the camera down a little bit. You probably can't see my feet. Need to get a better camera. But I have my feet in a little bit. This is my pulling stance with the feet. And what I'm going to do is jump up, heave the bar into the air, into the overhead position. And at the same time, I'm going to jump and I'm going to go down. It's called a drop snatch. Watch this. This is going to be a little harder than overhead squat. But if you can overhead squat, you can do this. So I've got my chest big, back's nice and tight. I'm going to jump up, lay down, and then go back. And each one's going to get a little better. That was rusty. Let's see how deep I can receive the bar. I mean, I'm kind of riding it down a little bit. I want to push this thing up and drop under it. Here we go. Better. Boom. Good enough? All right, so we're almost ready to snatch. I'm going to put together 3 of those moves that we did. One of them is the jump and shrug, like that. And the next one is the drop snatch, which we just did. I'm trying to keep my grip wide. And eventually you're going to incorporate the Romanian deadlift into it because you want to learn to pull the bar from the floor. But let's start with the hang snatch for now. We got the jump for shrug. There we go. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and the third one I'm going to snatch. Here we go. 1, get that bar higher. 2, and ready, and go. 3. Just keep doing that. Boom. Get to think about speed. Bam. Put some weight on the bar. Now it gets a little more fun. We have some weight on the bar. This is when you want to tell the people at Planet Fitness to watch out. So I'm going to make sure my grip is good. I'm going to do a couple of those jump shrugs and then the snatch. Here we go. I'm going to try to shrug as high as possible. 1, 2. Here we go. Boom. Not as fast as right. We go from there. Now you put together the hang snatch. You actually might just be happy hang snatching. If you just want to incorporate something like this for explosiveness, for sports, for a little body speed, hang snatch is fine. When you start throwing a full snatch in, you have to get the first pull down, and you don't want to be yanking and jerking the bar off the ground. You want a nice controlled first pull. I would compare the first pull with a snatch similar to serving a tennis ball, where you want to throw it to the same place every time. I'm not that great at tennis. Sometimes when I go out, I throw a little to the right, a little to the left. The ball goes all over the place. Same thing with your pull. You don't want to be in a rush to get the bar off the floor. You want a nice controlled pull, past the knees. Once you get past the knees, then you start to get a little violence into your head. You accelerate, shrug as high as you can, and jump under the bar. And let's see if I'm listening to what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to flex my hips, keep my back nice and tight, big chest, shoulders back, pull the bar to my hips. Nice and steady. Ready, and go. Like this, rock bottom, baby. So I hope that was of help. Now, if you want better advice, find a weightlifting coach in your area. But try that sequence out. You know, if you got a gym where you got a little space, you can snatch, hang snatch with 10 pounds on the side. No one will bug you. And people will learn to get out of your way eventually if they get banged in the head enough. I'll catch you later.